All right, let's talk about this, unlikely hero of Super Bowl 56, this lesser-known wide receiver, a third-round pick, a few years back, mostly a slot receiver, Cooper Kupp. He was obviously incredible. I make myself laugh. That's what I do it for. Maybe no one else, but I laugh at my jokes. Let's talk about what Cooper Kupp did that was just so effective and the big impact he had in Super Bowl 56. And I actually want to start off with a play that wasn't maybe that well known because he didn't get the football, but this is actually kind of funny that this happened. So here's the play. To set the stage, so you see they're at the 31-yard line, or 31-yard line here, and this was actually on that drive where they eventually, they needed the fourth down conversion. This was, when they were a yard away from getting the first down, they would eventually have to give the ball to Cooper Kupp to get the first down on fourth. But early on, they could have gotten more yards on this play. It's man coverage, and you see Cooper Kupp's route, and watch what's going to happen. As you see, Stafford takes the snap, and Cooper Kupp is going to just get completely wide open right here. So with this, concept, I mean, if Stafford saw Kupp, he could have hit him and they could have picked up a decent chunk play right away. I'm not bashing Stafford. This happens all the time. He, liked what he saw on the other side of the field. This is something that all quarterbacks do. But it's just kind of funny how on this incredible drive that Cooper Kupp had, it could have even been a little bit easier for Cooper Kupp had Stafford hit him there. So just a little funny, I thought. Not a big deal. But again, kind of looking at the ALL-22 now, you can spot these things that you didn't see in the broadcast footage. I thought a play like this was a lot of what Cooper Kupp was able to do against Cincinnati. A lot of what, when the Rams did move the ball against Cincinnati, this is how they did it, where it's going to be a cover 3 zone, and Kupp is just going to try and find a little gap in coverage. A lot of people said, towards the end, Cooper Kupp was getting doubled all game, and they said, screw it, we're going to throw it to him anyways. That's not exactly what happened. It was more so just stuff like this kind of all game. Cooper Kupp tends to be much better against man than against zone, but even on this play, watch what he's going to do. So kind of putting him in the slot, what the value that brings is you can get favorable matchups for Cooper Kupp. Typically, teams put their best corners on the outside, obviously, and then on the inside, sometimes you'll have 3 linebackers there, or you'll have 2 linebackers and a safety, or maybe just 1 linebacker there. But on this time, it is Cooper Kupp going one-on-one against a linebacker, and because of these concepts, this is the mismatch you want to take advantage of. And I paused it right here because you see that you can't really tell where Cooper Kupp is going to go. And you see how the linebacker kind of has his hips turned towards the bottom of the screen. He's kind of protecting the middle area. He knows he has help over the middle area, so he's more concerned about if Cooper Kupp cuts to the outside, then he has to try and keep up with him. And obviously, you're not going to be as explosive as Cooper Kupp. Few people are. So when Kupp just stops, there's that separation. He turns back, catches the football, and picks up as many yards as possible. These aren't highlight reel level plays, but they're definitely key plays in how the Rams were able to just consistently move the ball down the field when they threw to him. This is why Stafford had a perfect passer rating when he targeted Cooper Kupp in this Super Bowl. You also have something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is it's going to, again, be zone coverage. This time it's a cover 3 zone blitz, but still, you're trying to find a gap in coverage if you're Cooper Kupp. Look at how right when this play begins, you see how Kupp just understands leverage. The linebacker is over the middle, so he's now getting to the outside. And this is why on the last play, you had a linebacker so fearful of allowing Kupp to get to the outside. Once you get that outside leverage, it's just going to be really easy for Kupp. You have more speed. You're not going to be able to come back from this if you're a linebacker unless it's a bad throw. As you see, it is not a bad throw. It's a good throw from Stafford. And again, you're getting these methodical plays. And against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, that's kind of how you have to attack them to some degree, is with stuff like that. So the fact that Kupp did such a good job of finding these gaps in coverage, this isn't even what he's best at. He's usually best at just, beating guys in man. But like something like this is another example, and this time it's going to be further down the field. Those are how you can kind of methodically move down the field. But there's also ways you can get more chunk plays, something like this, where he's just going to, again, find the soft spot in the zone where there will be a passing lane for Stafford. That's his job on this play. watch his route and watch how, like, when do you know what he's doing? Really, like, right when he starts to stop. That's the only time you know. And he puts himself in perfect position right here to where Stafford has a throwing lane to hit him. It's not wide open. These plays against the Cincinnati Bengals defense rarely are. But due to him not giving himself away, and also due to the other Rams players on that side of the field running their routes correctly, this all works together to give Stafford a throwing lane. And again, as I said earlier, Stafford not going to miss those throws, picks up the chunk play, picks up the first down. So that's just what they were able to do, and why you saw Cooper Kupp being able to just have some success against the coverage that maybe isn't his strongest suit. I also want to talk about a play like this. Quite frankly, you kind of also saw this on some other plays where I did feel like Cincinnati could have paid Kupp a bit more attention. I didn't think it was like horrible or awful or anything like that, but could they have paid him a bit more attention? I think so. The zone coverage already kind of limits him a little bit. Maybe they thought that would just be enough, but you got to pay him more attention than that. And this play is a great example of that. The last plays, it's like, okay, maybe, listen, I know you like to play your zone coverage, like to keep it this way. Maybe just make sure at least a safety is on Kupp, at least a defensive back, not a linebacker. Maybe just have someone follow him. Even if it is zone, you can do that. I get that that's not what you like to do, but you're going up against Cooper Kupp. You got to try new things against him. Also, something like this, though, where it's like, you just got to make sure you're always covering him. Like, always pay attention to Kupp. He is that elite receiver. Treat him like one. And on this play, it's going to be a play action. Stafford is going to run a bit of a bootleg to the top of the screen, and you see Cooper Kupp's route on this one. Look at how right when this play begins, you see how the safety really just bites too hard on this play action, which, listen, I mean, for everyone who criticizes the Rams and how much they ran the football, I certainly criticize them at times, but like, this is the flip side, is you can get less attention on Cooper Kupp, which is obviously an advantage right here. But it also kind of makes you think, like, if they're not getting anything through the ground game anyways, although this was earlier on in the game, so it wasn't like that obvious, but it's like, trust the guys up front a little bit more. Make sure you're always covering Cooper Kupp. You can't get fooled like that, but also at the same time, getting fooled one step in, that's all Cooper Kupp needs. So there could have been more attention for Cooper Kupp, as for sure, but also, he's really good. As you see, Stafford does hit him. Kupp gets the touchdown right there. So great stuff from Cooper Kupp. Listen, he's awesome. One of the best wide receiver seasons of all time. He's put himself in the best wide receiver in football conversation, which kind of would have been a very hot take to say going into this season. And he's a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. So all of that stuff that he's done this season is it's truly remarkable and pretty awesome. And while I should be clear, like, listen, there were things that the Bengals could have done to maybe limit him a bit more. The other aspect is, like, well, they still played a defense that typically hinders Kupp as much as possible, and he still was deemed the most valuable player in that football game, even with a bad matchup. Like, that's also kind of the talent we're dealing with. So could there have been maybe a couple of plays where they maybe should have paid a little bit more attention to him? For sure. But also, like, that happens with a lot of receivers, and it's up to that receiver to make them pay for it, and that is exactly what Cooper Kupp did. So good stuff from Cooper Kupp. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Cooper Kupp? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.